this first section of employment basics, your goal is to become familiar with the different frequencies in which people get paid, along with overtime. One of the biggest determinations on why people choose a job is pay or salary. Jobs vary in how they pay their employees. Some pay hourly and some are salary based. Some receive their paychecks weekly, bi-weekly, or some monthly or semi-monthly. So first, the two most common are actually bi-weekly and semi-monthly. Bi-weekly just means that you get paid every other week. Since there's 52 weeks in a year, that means you would get paid 26 times. Semi-monthly means you get paid exactly twice per month, meaning you would get paid 24 times per year. An overtime hourly rate is just the hourly wage received for overtime hours. Now, this is generally anything greater than 40 hours, and the pay is 1.5 times what it normally is. The gross pay is just your total pay before taxes, and this includes your regular hourly wages along with any overtime. And minimum wage is the hourly rate that federal law allow as the least hourly rate to be paid to an employee. In the US, it is currently $7.25 an hour. In the article and statistics you read tomorrow, you'll find that some states set their own minimum wage and see the differences among them. So next, we're just going to look at a few simple examples of calculating different pay types based on an annual or yearly salary. So in example 1, a yearly salary is $47,500. So to determine the monthly pay, we just take that and divide by the frequency in which she would get paid, which is 12. So her monthly pay is approximately $3,958 per month. To determine her weekly pay, same idea, except now our frequency is changed to 52. So her weekly pay is about $913 per week. In example 2, Mary's hourly wage is $8.70, and if she works overtime, she receives 1.5 times her regular hourly rate. So her hourly overtime rate would simply be $8.70 times 1.5, and that comes out to $13.05 per hour. If she regularly works 40 hours per week with no overtime, then $8.70 times 40 gives us a weekly wage of $348. Example 3, Janine earns $12 and she works 40 hours per week but receives time and a half for overtime. So we're trying to calculate her total pay if she works 48 hours. So we can look at this as finding how much she would receive for her regular 40 hours, so 12 times 40, and adding that to her overtime pay. To calculate her overtime wage or rate, 12 times 1.5, and then times her overtime hours, which is 8. So her regular pay for 40 hours is $480, and her overtime rate is 18. So then her regular is $480 plus $144, giving her a total wage earning of $624 for 48 hours of work. And lastly, in example 4, this time we are told how many hours an employee works and what her gross pay is. So we're trying to determine what was her hourly rate. So we can actually use the same thought process as above, except now the unknown is her hourly rate. So instead of 40 times a specific number, we might say 40 times x. So let me clarify. Let x equal regular hourly wage. And then we're adding that to 1.5 times x to get her overtime hourly rate times the number of hours she works for overtime. Now, don't get this confused. This does say 1.5 times x times 5, and that total will equal $633.45. So if we simplify and combine like terms, this becomes 40x plus 7.5x. So the idea we can see here is that working 5 hours of overtime is the equivalent to working 47 and a half hours at the regular hourly rate. So then take the total gross pay, divide by those hours, and we see that the hourly rate equals $13.33. Next, I'm asking that you research 5 different occupations in the state of PA, just to give you an idea of what these yearly salaries might look like when you're first starting out versus what the median salary would be. So go ahead and click this link. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. There are different categories of occupations. So I'm going to click educational instruction and mathematical science teachers post-secondary. So this will be at the college level. And if I scroll up, I can see what column represents what. Sorry, you will actually have to click on the occupation itself to get the information needed. So for a college science teacher, I can look at this table. We will use the 10% column for the starting annual salary and then 50% for the median. So starting annual for a college science teacher is $38,790. And then their median salary is $73,690. That means the median means that exactly 50% of people in that profession make less than this amount, and 50% of people in this profession make above this amount in the state of PA. And then to calculate the biweekly starting salary, we would take 38,790 divided by 36, and that is $1,077.50. And then taking the same with the median salary, so 73,690 divided by 26 gives us a biweekly salary of $2,834.23. So again, you are looking up 5 different occupations here and finding both the starting salary, which is the 10%, and then the median salary, which is 50%. So I can just go back, go to the top to look at the different categories, click, say legal occupations, and then choose from there. Once you are finished that, you will be looking at a table calculating the gross pay for different hourly wages versus different number of hours worked. So I will go through the first one with you. For an hourly wage of $7.25, remember that's the federal minimum wage, for working 10 hours, you would receive $72.50. For 20 hours, $145. For 30 hours, $217.50. For 40 hours, $290. And we're actually going to skip a column. So for anything less than or equal to 40 hours, if X is the number of hours, then we would simply take 7.25 times X. For anything over 40 hours, we might look at it as 725 times 40, since that represents those regularly hourly wages, plus 725 times 1.5, that's the overtime hourly rate, and then X minus 40. And that X minus 40 is going to tell you how many hours of overtime that person worked. So if we simplify this, then we already know 725 times 40 is 290. And then that means her overtime hourly rate is 725 times 1.5, and that is about 1087. And times X minus 40. So if we're applying this to 50 hours, then 50 minus 40 tells us he or she worked 10 hours of overtime. So times 10 added to the original 40-hour work week is about $398.75. So go ahead and take the time to fill out these columns for both an hourly wage of $9, $15, and $20. From there, I want you to try to answer this final question, and we will talk about it next time in class.